Jim Joe Bobby Jim here, the Squirrel Hunter. Now I know this looks like less than an authentic squirrel, which is unlike someone like myself, a licensed, sealed, bonded squirrel hunter. But the thing is that I kind of got put into squirrel hunting rehab of sorts, and so my first step in the recovery process, that's what they seem to keep calling it, was to be able to take care of a stuffed squirrel. Rumor has it I've achieved that goal, so I'm moving on to the next step. Next step is to learn how to care for some other kind of animal. Now the one they told me was something like, was it invalid? No, that somebody called me that. Inebriate? No, that was something else about me. Oh, invertebrate. I'm supposed to take care of this invertebrate. So then the question is, what the heck is an invertebrate? So what I happen to have in my hand right here is, in fact, an invertebrate. Now, it is a worm, and the literature informed me that that is an invertebrate. Then I had to go and do some stuff on this website called Wikipedia. I think it might, in fact, be the finest piece of writing I have ever encountered. This Wikipedia thing, whoever wrote that is Mr. Wikipedia is a genius. But this is a worm, and apparently being an invertebrate means you have no internal skeleton. Now, this guy right here would be really easy to manage. I'd be more likely to get back my squirrel hunting privileges, or we'll call it squirrel care. But problem is, the more I look at this worm, the more I want to go fishing, and the shorter this worm's life becomes. So while I could care for the worm, I'm probably not going to. So these guys crawling across the hose are what are called ants. I do not believe they're carpenter ants. If they are, I will inform this homeowner, but not until after an infestation, where I can inform them that I would be a licensed person to correct the problem. I might bilk them out of their money, but it is what it is. And so these ants have these things called an exoskeleton. Makes them a little easier to care for if you're doing investigation, but they live in these giant groups called super colonies, so they may or may not be the ideal individual to do research on, but they or to work with and keep as a pet, but it might work. We're looking at these invertebrates. Just lifted up this rock and there goes a spider. Don't want to get my face too close. Last time I was that close, one latched onto my face and nose swelled up so big, couldn't smell difference between Copenhagen and Skull if I tried. But right here's a spider. Let's see if we can't bring the camera around. Come on, cameraman. Hustle, cameraman. Let's go. Get a look at that spider. I think that one might be an Australian funnel web spider. Chances of it not being, I suppose, are reasonably good, considering the fact we are not in Australia. I don't necessarily know what continent we are on, but I'm pretty sure I haven't heard anybody say something about shrimps on barbecues lately. So I think it might be a funnel web, but I'm not positive. So looking for invertebrates, oftentimes they like to have moist environments. It's like something about water being good, like water being required for life or something like that. I don't know what they're talking about on those Mars missions. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift over one of these rocks and see if we can't see if there's any invertebrates under there. Let's see what we got. Oh my goodness. We got some grubs. Now these are not the sort that I typically eat. It appears to be they are ant larvae. Ants are moving them around. So we have a mature colony here. So what we don't want to do is disturb that and get bit. We also don't want to get bit by one of these guys right here. That right there is a centipede. Now it isn't even the length of my fingernail, but if it were to break my skin with its bite, I might end up with some sort of reaction, be anaphylactic or some other type of bad reaction. Thank goodness it's not a Venezuelan cave centipede. We'll hear about those things later. But man, Centipedes, nasty deals. Wouldn't want that one as a pet. But this is still a good kind of spot to find an invertebrate. So what we have here is another pile of rocks. It appears to be some cement that some lazy homeowner busted up and just happened to leave. And so it's been here long enough to tick off his wife, and also to make it so maybe some other wildlife has come to reside underneath this rock. So let's see what we got here. This is a big rock. Oh my goodness. We got something. It's moving. That suggests it's alive. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but it makes me feel fairly confident. This little thing, it appears that if you bug it, pun intended, if you bug it, it might roll up or something. Maybe not. It does this rolling behavior. I don't know. If it were to roll up, I wonder if you could play marbles with it. That seems like probably less than humane. Might not get my license to squirrel hunt or keep squirrels as pets if I did so. So I probably won't, but I can't guarantee it. So that right there is something we are going to have to look up and see exactly what this critter is. Oh, gosh. I'm glad we got that on camera. I just dropped that critter. But what I can tell you is it is, or was, what they call a pill bug, aka some kind of thing called an isolationist. No. Isopod. It's an isopod, which it said, at least on Wikipedia, again, wonderful site. I'd recommend any scholar like myself use it. If you look on there, it says some sort of crustacean, which is like a shrimp, which means that whole shrimp on the Barbie thing. I haven't heard about isopods on the Barbie, but this might be one to try at home. Anyway, it turns out that since they're a crustacean, they got gills. They breathe through gills, which explains why they're under rocks and they're looking for moisture and dead wood, because it sounds like that's what they eat. But if I didn't know anything about isopods, I wonder if I found in a garden and there's people that do stuff to gardens and parks and where they live, what other stuff might affect them? If I didn't water my lawn, it would die, but so might the pill bugs. God, there's a lot of questions to answer. It's too bad I'm not a green thumb, more of a red thumb, from a red state. But I digress. Apparently I need to learn some stuff. Maybe y'all could too.